You got everything done?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll see. You don't want to stay online? Are you running this or am I?
No, you.
It's me? Oh, fuck. Okay. Oh, there's no audio?
There is, but it's like 8-second lag or whatever.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right. Thanks, buddy.
Alright.
All right, bye. Here we're going to start again. So today is dedicated to one of America's most famous folklore heroes, the mighty lumberjack, Paul Bunyan. I mean, this show is dedicated to one of America's most famous folklore heroes, the mighty lumberjack, Paul Bunyan. There's his train. National Paul Bunyan Day comes along only once a year, guys, on this day, June 28th. The character Paul Bunyan was brought to life in stories by lumberjacks from the northeastern United States and eastern Canada, way back in the 18th century. They were all told orally, and no original written account exists in the world. Logging bunkhouses continued with the tradition of telling Paul Bunyan stories for decades after that, embellishing it with more and more details to make this lumberjack larger than life. Along the way, he also gained a companion, a giant blue-colored ox called Babe, the Blue Ox, who was said to be a gift from Paul's fellow woodsman, Davy Crockett, and Daniel freaking Boone. So what do you think about that?
No way.
Yeah, way.
I mean, there's a Texas connection to Paul Bunyan.
Yeah, way. Now, guys, we are on the air and live at AJ's Bar, located at 651 South Main Street in historic downtown Grapevine, Texas. We're here every Monday at noon-ish. And we appreciate you being here. That's right, guys. We appreciate all of you being here and hope that you're sharing the show with your friends and family. I mean, Mondays are pretty tough days for all of us. But what better way to spend your lunch hour than right here with us, right? Yeah. No better way. So let's just, in celebration, let's bust a move. No, you need to do a little longer.
They're not paying for it.
My featured guest today is Albert Bouchard. Albert was with me last week, and today we will continue that chat. For those of you that may have missed last week, let me catch you up on a little bit about Albert. Oh, man. Oh, man. Where?
Hi, this is Albert Bouchard.
There's the man. There's the man of the hour. Albert Thomas Bouchard was born on May 24th, 1947, and is an American drummer, guitarist, singer, and songwriter. Bouchard was born in Watertown, New York, and grew up in Clayton, New York. He was a founding member of the American hard rock band Blue Oyster Cult and a driving force through the band's first decade. He is also the brother of former Blue Oyster Cult bassist Joe Bouchard. And here he is now.
Hi, this is Albert Bouchard, founder of Blue Oyster Cult, and you are listening to the Barside Jive with DC.
Thanks, Al. See you soon. Guys, this is about the time when I turn to AJ and say, AJ, what are we drinking today?
Today we're drinking Carbox Southern Wheat.
Southern Wheat. Well, tell us about this beer, AJ.
It's a wheat beer from Carbach
Where is Carbach?
out of Houston,
Houston, Texas, your hometown.
my hometown.
Great flavor.
That is good.
It's a good beer. Fresh, refreshing.
And they make a donation to the Texas Parks and Wildlife Foundation.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Well, guys, Barside Jive is also sponsored by the zoo. Oh, no. Sponsored by Carbach, as well as the zoo.
The zoo.
On vocal.
The zoo, the legendary zoo. All you folks in DFW remember them. They're back with those deep cuts, those B-sides, that stuff you never hear on corporate radio. And
The zoo.
And the zoo is streamed universally, 24/7, 365. All right. In addition to my guest segment, which comes later in the show, I've got unconventional news, non-traditional weather, our weird world of sports, AJ's favorite, and traffic that's sure to make you go, what the hell did I just see? Delivered with that edginess and rawness that you crave, but will not get from the fantasy media theaters. Most of our stuff is satire simply because you got to laugh to keep from crying. But the big difference in us and those other guys is that we're actually entertaining. Somewhat. Yeah. What do you think about that Rachel Maddow?
That bitch fell out of the ugly tree.
She's not very pretty, is she? Anyhow, speaking of ugly people, so AJ, an ugly man, is sitting alone in the bar when suddenly this beautiful woman approaches him. The woman asks the man, "How would you like to get out of here?" The man is stunned, as he never thought a woman like her would approach him. So he agrees. They both get in his car and drive out past the edge of town, and he stops at a cliff with a view of the whole city. Within seconds, they start taking off their clothes, and after about 15 minutes of vigorous sex, they finally finish. They both put on their clothes and just sit there, kind of an awkward moment. The woman speaks up and says, "You know I'm a prostitute, and it's going to be $100 for that service." The man is stunned. He's shocked and saddened that she really didn't like him. It was just all about the money. So he gives her the money, and they both sit there, again, awkwardly. The woman tells him that, well, she's ready to leave now, right? And the man replies, "Well, I'm a taxi driver, and it's going to be $150 for the ride here and back." So what about one of my life hacks? AJ, you ready for a life hack?
Sure.
Okay. Well, here at Barside Jive, guys, we believe in the importance of perfect marriages with smoking hot wives. We also fully understand that not everyone is perfect. Though, I mean, sometimes you're going to screw up and get into arguments with your wife, right?
No.
Yeah, right, whatever. So, we need one more interruption. If it's not wrong screens, it's your freaking train phone. So, to help you navigate these difficult talks, be sure to follow my expert arguing tips. Now, if you just joined us last week, you'll remember my marriage tip number 1 was, as soon as you start arguing, take off your shirt to distract her with your Greek god body. Because she'll immediately be overcome with desire and completely forget that she's mad at you. Works, guys. Just try it. Well, today my number 2 marriage tip is use cold, hard reason meticulously explained and re-explained. Once again, guys, use cold, hard reason meticulously explained and re-explained. because using logic and reason in an argument with your wife will totally help her immediately understand how ridiculous she's being. Therefore, your problem is solved. Well, for the next few weeks or so, I'm going to dish out more of DC's best marriage hacks, just in case they work better for you than they did for me. You're welcome. If you want to share your life hack or maybe some worthless information with us, you can always give us a call at the bar phone, 469-844-1631, because we know everything. Kinda. And remember, knowledge is power, so power up, give us a call. Oh, and by the way, if today is your birthday and you want AJ to sing happy birthday to you, just give us a call on the bar phone, 469-844-1631, because he'll be happy to do that. And be sure to check out my YouTube channel. Just search Barside Jive Live at youtube.com. Click subscribe and then click that little bitty bell to receive notifications when I post my premium content, which is free to all of you because you're premium folks. Oh, and now, an important word from our sponsor, the brewersassociation.org. Or brewersassociation.org. brewersassociation.org.
Oh.
That's right, guys. Drink beer. Drink more beer. Right, AJ?
Absolutely.
A little Carbach won't kill you.
I had a long day today.
You did?
I'm going to.
Oh, you're going to have a long day. Yeah. I don't smell that smoker going today. I thought Mondays we did a lot of cooking.
I just haven't had time to get out there yet.
Oh, really?
I'll be here all day, though.
You still got to do it? I love the smell of that barbecue cooking. Woo. Okay, guys, so this is pretty cool. So 2 young guys were picked up by the cops for smoking pot and appeared in court. The judge said, "You seem like nice young men, so I'd like to give you a second chance." Something that we all love to hear, right? Get a second chance. "I want you to go out this weekend and try to show others the evils of drug use. I'll see you back in court on Monday." So on Monday, the judge said to the first one, "How did you do over the weekend?" "Well, Your Honor, I persuaded 17 people to give up drugs." 17 people? That's wonderful. What did you tell them? "Well, I used a diagram, Your Honor. I drew a little circle and a big circle and told them the big circle is your brain before drugs and the small circle is your brain after drugs." "That's really admirable," said the judge. "And you, how did you do?" to the second boy. "Well, Your Honor, I persuaded 156 people to give up drugs." 156 people, the judge said. "That's amazing. How did you manage to do that?" "Well, I used a similar tactic." He draws 2 circles. Then I pointed to the small circle and said, "This is your asshole before prison."
Speaking of judges,
Oh,
my buddy is running for the Tarrant County seat number 7 for judge. We're having a fundraiser for him tonight, so if you got time, come by and meet him. He's a former cop, and he's a district attorney right now. Eric Starnes.
Tarrant County.
Come on out. We got
Tarrant County,
free
baby.
booze and drinks and
Free barbecue.
barbecue and snacks and good stuff.
Everything's free.
Free. Not really.
It doesn't happen often, so come enjoy it. I may even be here because I don't believe it. Okay, so it's time once again for that segment with those big ass raving reviews, our breaking news, AJ.
Whoosh, bum, 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 bum.
COVID.
Oh man,
COVID.
must be.
So they're pushing everybody to vaccinate their kids, but the World Health Organization, which I don't trust anyway, they're now saying, wait a minute, maybe not. And now they're saying those kids that did, some of the youth that did, small percentage, are having some heart issues.
It's okay.
And it's like,
It's okay.
dude, it's like all jacked up.
They
Okay.
ju- They said too that they think that these shots may last up to 2 to 3 years now. That's what they're thinking.
Is that all?
Yeah,
You
that's-
going to get more vaccinations? Mm-hmm. Oh, this will be a long-lasting thing.
Yeah,
Somebody's going to make some money.
I think somebody already did.
Hey, what happened to
Called
the
China.
dude? What happened to the flu?
Just disappeared.
We used to talk about it all the time. Every year, people getting sick and dying. The flu, and I hadn't heard a word about the flu.
It's because of masks. We wore those masks.
Oh,
And they helped.
It cured the flu. Is this the right glass for this beer?
It's just a carbide glass, but it's Love Street. Here,
This is
here,
Hopadillo.
Hold this. Let me see. Move your fingers. There you go. Hold on. Let's see. There you go.
Now we're good.
Now we're good.
All right, guys, our top news story straight in from the Barside Jive news desk. Here are the 9 most terrifying criminals from the January 6th Capitol attack. We're bringing them right here. This is exclusive. So sentencing is beginning for the insurrectionists who tried to take over our country with selfie sticks and buffalo costumes. Luckily, they didn't exceed. No, luckily they didn't succeed. So here they are. Here are the 9 most terrifying criminals from that dark day of January 6, 2021, a day that will go down in infamy. Infamy. First one is Buffalo Guy.
In the Antifa.
Buffalo Guy. Look at this face. Truly freaking terrifying. Legal experts all agree that since he stood up in front of the congressional chambers, he is now legally our ruler and master. Bow down before the bison man, folks. Bow down. He is still in solitary confinement.
Good. Lock his ass up for wearing a buffalo head.
Come on, man. I think it's kind of cool.
He's an Antifa guy.
No.
Yeah. He's been at other riots and shit.
No.
Dressed the same damn
no,
way.
No.
Yeah.
That's fake news.
No, that's the truth.
All right. Number 2 of our dastardly gang of misfits is Nitin Meemaw Gunderson. That's right, AJ. Nitin Meemaw Gunderson. Terror. I mean, total terror. Truly the face of a criminal. Okay, so she technically was storming the Kansas state capitol and not the one in D.C., but still, she's a terrorist. Her terror spreads across the whole land.
He looks like a terrorist.
Absolutely. Next on our list is the guy who put his feet on Pelosi's desk. The act of a madman. The nation will never recover. That's a mahogany desk, by the way.
I bet.
That wood is probably
Rich
not
mahogany.
as old as Pelosi. All right, who's next? The massive army of robot assassins who literally murdered AOC, although she's still alive. These guys were ruthless. I mean, ruthless. So rest in peace, AOC. Rest in peace. The robot killers. Next is the deadly lectern thief.
What the fuck did you think he was going to do with that?
Oh, I love that wave. It's like kind of like that cheerleader wave. The deadly lectern thief. Whole chapters in future history textbooks will be written about this guy. Ooh, Whole chapters in future history textbooks will be written about this guy who literally walked into the building and walked out with a piece of wood. I mean, we're talking John Wilkes Booth levels of impact on our country here, guys. Wow. What do you think so far? I'm totally impressed.
Terrifying.
What a list. I am terrified. I'm horrified. Well, next we have the squirrel. And I mean the squirrel. That's right, guys. Just look at him. He's clearly up to something mischievous.
That son of a bitch.
Yeah. Should die. The squirrel should die. Oh, and then there's that pigeon.
Oh, that fucker should definitely die.
The pigeon. The pigeon's got to go. Dastardly pigeon. Well, the next group is those professional insurrectionists who are having quite a bit of trouble climbing that wall. I can say they need some upper body strength, wouldn't you say?
Mm-hmm. Or
Maybe
a ladder.
some push-ups.
A ladder.
Maybe some pull-ups. Maybe a ladder. Maybe a rope.
Yeah.
Had they succeeded in actually climbing that wall, the law of the land would have mandated that we make them our rulers. They would have had to fight the buffalo guy in unarmed combat for the honor, though. Wow. And the mastermind behind it all. This deranged lunatic who specifically told everyone to remain peaceful. A psycho. He actually said, I know that everyone here will soon be marching over to the Capitol building to peacefully and patriotically make your voices heard, which is truly the rally cry of a madman. We shall never forget. Guys, we here at Barside Jive know these pictures are hard to look at, but it's important to remember how terrible this day was, so we will never repeat it. A moment of silence, I think, is in order.
That's enough.
Okay. Also in the news, huge spike in Americans buying F-15s after Biden suggests you'll need them to overthrow the government. The nation scrambled to buy F-15s and nuclear weapons after President Biden said in a speech Wednesday that you'll never beat a government unless you have the fighter jets and intercontinental ballistic missiles. All over the nation, American citizens were seen parking their brand new F-15s in their driveways and garages. Some wealthier Americans actually purchased the F-22, while less fortunate citizens were forced to buy the F-35 Joint Fighter. But no matter what craft they chose, American citizens said they were just glad to finally be protected against a tyrannical government. I need an F-15 to beat the government. Say no more, said one man in New Hampshire as he happily rushed out to his local F-15 dealer to pick up the latest model. Before, I thought my AR-15 would be enough, but when Biden pointed out that the U.S. government has fighter jets and I only have an assault rifle, I realized I really need to beef up my anti-tyranny defense systems. Thanks, Mr. Biden. I'm sure glad you reminded me of how brutal a government can be against its own citizens and how governments throughout history have in fact attacked their own people once they are disarmed and helpless. The man was later seen picking up an M1 Abrams tank.
Just for good measure.
Shoot, I didn't know where you get one of those. Can you see us cruising around town in one of those?
Yeah.
Be kind of cool.
They're stylish.
Yeah. Put a stereo in it.
Mhm.
Badass. And Pennsylvania election audit shows Benjamin Franklin voted for Biden.
I knew that fucker did.
Mm-hmm. Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. The Commonwealth of Pennsylvania began working this week on an audit of the 2020 election. And despite criticism from the Democrats, the audit quickly unearthed at least one minor anomaly. That's because just 78 seconds into the independent audit, an official came across a ballot which had been digitally signed by the University of Pennsylvania founder Benjamin freaking Franklin. Franklin, if he were alive today, would be 316 years old, and due to a technicality has now become the oldest person ever to vote in a U.S. presidential election. So yeah, these Democrats are going to have a lot of explaining to do, said Mike Lindell, the pillow guy, who just happened to be in town selling some pillows.
I have his pillows.
Do you?
Yeah.
Are they good?
Yeah, they're nice.
Are they really?
Got the towels too.
Serious?
Mm-hmm.
Really? You're a big supporter.
That's what I do, man.
Oh, that's awesome.
Dude's got a hell of a story, though, man.
He does have a good story.
Yeah.
Said Mike Lindell, who just happened to be in town selling some pillows, but figured he should make an appearance at the audit just in case. I told you people all along this was fraud, and look at this. Benjamin Franklin, you freaking kidding me? Guy's been dead for 250 years. I told you this thing was rigged. Lindell then announced that if the audit overturns the election in favor of Trump, he will give a free MyPillow to every Pennsylvania voter, living or dead.
It's a good deal.
It didn't take auditors long to uncover other Biden voters who just didn't quite fit the bill. Within hours, auditors discovered that James Buchanan, Henry J. Hines, and even Betsy Ross had all cast votes for Biden in the 2020 election. Remarkable.
It's crazy.
Remarkable. Do you really use those pillows?
I do.
Are they really that good?
Yeah.
Also from the Barside Jive news desk, our trending news items segment is brought to you by our friends over at Body Action Products. And here he is, Body Action Products spokesman, A freaking J. Go ahead.
Oh. Body Action Anal Bleach Gel is a super concentrated, intimate area skin lightening gel. It is formulated to help improve the appearance of uneven skin tone and diminish discolored areas of the skin. It's ideal for anal, vaginal, penis, scrotum, nipples, dark underarms, and any other intimate area skin lightening needs.
So for that asshole in your life that just needs to
Lighten the fuck up.
absolutely. Anal bleach gel. Jay's favorite. All right, trending nationally. Woman briefly identifies as man to avoid long bathroom lines. And also trending, NFL player. Raiders' Carl Nassib announces he is gay. He's switching over to soccer. He is the first openly gay player. Wow. And CNN airs report about Fox News, airing report about CNN, airing report about Fox News.
That dude's such a tool, man.
Did you get that?
Yeah.
CNN airs report about Fox News, airing report about CNN, airing report about Fox News. And the saga, and the saga continues. All right, guys, that brings us up to rock history. Throwing in the shade.
Can't see, man. Can't see.
Can't see.
Too dark.
Well, guys, it's June 28th, and here are some reasons why this day matters in rock history. In 1996, Def Leppard kicked off their North American leg of the 133-date Slang World Tour in Ohio. Pretty cool, huh? Mm-hmm. In 1997, as Pink Floyd's The Dark Side of the Moon began its 1056th week on the album chart, rumors started swirling that the record syncs up with The Wizard of Oz when you start it as the MGM lion roars for the third time. Dude, that's what they say. I hadn't tested it. But it can't be wrong. It's on our show. And in 2000, Soundgarden singer Chris Cornell and his then wife, artist manager Susan Silver, became the parents of a baby daughter they named Lillian Jean.
It's a normal name.
And that's what happened today in rock history and why today matters. Which means it's time for... Uh-oh, hold up, AJ. We got breaking news. Guys, we've got some breaking news in from Chicago. Let's go to Chicago's Lincoln Park housing project to Greta Shanahan, who's with an attempted rape victim.
He tried to rape me. He tried to pull my clothes off.
Well, obviously, we have a rapist in Lincoln Park. He's climbing in your windows. He's snatching your people up, trying to rape them. So y'all need to hide your kids, hide your wife, and hide your husband because they raping everybody out here.
The attacker got loose and went out the upstairs window, but he did leave something behind.
We got your T-shirt. You done left fingerprints and all. You are so dumb. You are really dumb. For real. You don't have to come and confess that you did it. We're looking for you. We gonna find you. I'm letting you know now, so you can run and tell that, homeboy.
Well, guys, you stay tuned right here to Barside Jive. Every Monday, we'll bring you the latest breaking news, regardless of what it is. You know, that was kind of a great lead-in to what's coming up next. Sports. Well, and now we'll stand for our national anthem. Ready? All right, guys, well, let's go to Saudi Arabia for the greatest Royal Rumble event and watch WWE superstar Titus O'Neil make his grand entrance.
That's a bad fucking dude right there.
Wow.
Good job, Titus.
Good job, Titus. Great entrance. Yeah, it's awesome. Did you see that form?
Yeah.
Wow.
I've seen how that form disappeared.
Yeah. We'll just forget the instant replay on that one. And just when you thought you'd seen everything, tune in every Monday, noon central-ish. And now a word from our friends over at Foghat Cellars.
Hi DC, thanks for having us on your show. And for you folks, I'm Roger of the band Foghat, and these are our wines. Foghat Cellars. This is a Chardonnay from Monterey County, absolutely delicious. 2014. We have 2013 Pinot Noir from Monterey County. It's absolutely fabulous. Wonderful drinking wine. If you like Pinots, you'll love it. This is a Cabernet Sauvignon from Paso Robles. All our wines come from Central Coast of California. Steve Rasmussen is our winemaker. Though in fact, myself and Linda actually get involved in the making of some of our wines. Drink, enjoy, go to foghatcellars.com to find out how to get it. Thanks, bye.
And you forgot them both?
No, couldn't find them. Don't forget to use the special coupon code Barside Jive at the checkout screen to get a 20% discount off your entire purchase. And don't forget, you can always get one signed by Roger Earl, the only remaining member of the classic Fog Hat lineup. Play ball.
Wow.
Good, baby.
I'm totally impressed.
You didn't even get me with that little hiccup that you put in there for me.
Yeah, that's really cool. You're really good.
That's what I do, baby.
Man, I trained you well.
That's what I do.
Man, my ear itches. Okay, it's time for some weather. Okay, I've got an omission. I totally forgot to check on the weather.
It's okay.
Well, is it moderate?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's okay.
Winds out of the... don't say north.
No, it's coming out of the south.
Yeah, it's too hot for it to come out of the north. Humidity's at a very moist
97%.
97.
It's very moist.
And the sun will set at
About 840,
842. It'd be like up to an 850 now.
Yeah.
Check it. I bet it's 850. I bet it's 850 p.m. Guys, it won't be long. It'll be 9 o'clock sunset, which is awesome. We love long days here in Texas. So AJ's checking on the sunset, which is going to be at
8:39 is what it says.
No, that's bullshit. It was already up to 8:40 last week. They're fucking wrong. See what I say about the weather? You can't trust them, but they're always fucking wrong. It was 8:40 last week. How can it be? How can it go back? I mean, it's just June.
Hey, let's just calm the fuck down, okay?
Okay. It just pisses me off about the
Calm
weather.
the fuck down, DC. Come on.
We're always improving our weather reports with cutting-edge technology. Thanks to your donations to PayPal.me, Barside Jive Live. So using the aforementioned technology, AJ, we will recap using our exclusive to Barside Jive outdoor conditions rating system. So the umbrella index is
heavy.
UV index is
high.
Mosquito index is
extremely high.
Sweat index is
extremely hot.
Heat index is
extremely hot.
Do you know anything except extremely high?
Not in Texas.
And as for the moon phase,
it's a waning crescent, waxing crescent.
Whatever. That sounds like a baboon name.
Hey, that's a scientific term.
Okay.
Or atmospheric term. I don't know.
All right. Well, let's go to our storm chasers in central Missouri, where they're tracking an F3 on the ground. AJ.
Oh shit.
Oh no. We're gonna have to let it go. We gotta let it go. We gotta let it go, guys. Back that. Turn into the wind. Turn into the wind. Oh boy.
Oh.
You guys okay? Everybody okay?
Did you see the size of that tornado? Yeah. I mean, over to their right. That thing was on the ground. It was huge.
What do we do in Texas and Oklahoma? We go out and look at it.
That's true. That's true. Do you know what happened to the cow that was lifted into the air by the tornado? It was an utter disaster.
Utter disaster. Couldn't see that coming.
Utter disaster. Hey, do you know what happened to the cow that was lifted into the air by the tornado? It was an utter disaster.
What's that song where it says, tornado's so bad it'll rip the tattoo right off your arm?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, well, that was your global weather from your Barside Jive meteorologist. Kinda. Here at Barside Jive. Our weather was brought to you by our friends over at New Links Dry Full Control 48-hour antiperspirant. This is a new one.
What?
Damn lie. 48 hours, my ass. I ain't been in Texas.
For f***'s sake, what the f*** are you doing? Why are you in my shot? Why is he in my shot? Do you know how off-putting this is? What the f*** are you doing? You're totally messing up my scene. You're amateur. You're a nice guy. You're a nice guy, but you're a amateur. When I'm in that mood, just keep off the set. For f***'s sake. Are you going to say something to him? He's totally ruined the shot. You and Mick, we're done professionally, you know. We're done. Idiot. Sake.
Ease up, Karen. Wow.
That poor dude.
That got out of hand quick.
Yeah. I'd have told her to kiss my ass and I'd have picked up that sausage and ate it.
I'd have kissed her ass.
No.
Karen.
She wasn't nice. She was rude.
Karen.
Speaking of Karen, let's take a quick look at traffic.
What does that have to do with Karen?
I don't know. Just something to say. All right. How's it look out there on South Main Street today, AJ?
There's a couple of cars on there.
Just a couple?
Mm-hmm.
Like two?
Well, I've seen one, but...
Dude, so me and Morgan, after the show, were sitting out there on the front patio last week, and this Corvette runs right smack dab into another car at the intersection right here.
Nice.
Dude, it was like, this Corvette's like a 70 model. You can tell he's totally restored it. And he left half of his front end on the street. Morgan went over there and swept up the glass. Yeah,
She's
right,
such a good kid.
yeah, she is. Right in front of us. I mean, it happened right in front of us.
Were you scarred?
Kinda.
No.
Kinda.
Speaking of Morgan.
Speaking of Morgan.
She's taking her test today.
Her EMT test.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So good luck, baby.
Yeah, good luck, Morgan. Yeah, she's taking it about
She's
40 years after I did.
She's probably being strip searched right now. Did you
Probably.
hear about this, man? They can't take anything in there. She had a She had a thing on her necklace. They made her take it off. It was just a little pendant.
Dude, that's like that real estate exam. When you go take it, they get everything out of your pockets.
She had her pants are they have a hem where that they're rolled up in hem, and the lady made her straighten them out and show her that there was nothing in it.
Fred writing notes, taking in notes. Yeah,
Man.
Yeah.
So let's have one to Morgan.
Oh, absolutely. Let's do it. Where's mine? Here. What are we drinking, AJ?
I got bourbon and you got some tequila.
What brand? Doesn't really matter.
Yeah, just drink it.
Here you go, Morgan.
It's so
tasty.
good, man.
Woo.
I like it.
Well, guys, it may be fine down here. Down here on Main Street, it may be fine. But let's go to Pete Washington in Houston, Texas, with a live report on some construction down in Space City.
Good old Pete.
Good old
We
Pete.
sent out here to do a story. To do a story about what? As you can see, there's construction underway here. They've dug out a little bit. There's water has accumulated. Traffic's backed up. In a city the size of Houston, there's always traffic. So what's the big fucking deal? What the fuck are we doing out here? I asked you. What in the fuck are we doing here? Hell, I don't...
All right, Pete. We understand. I wouldn't like that assignment either. So, hey, that reminds me of a joke. So this guy walks into a bar and sees a sign that reads cheese sandwich $2.50, a chicken sandwich for $3.50, a hand job for $10. So he checks his wallet, asks the sexy bartender, "Are you the one who gives the hand jobs?" "Yes," she says, "I am." "Well, wash your freaking hands," said the man, "because I want one of those chicken sandwiches." That's one that you should tell here. Yeah, it's a good joke, yeah. That'll bring us up to our featured guest segment, which is sponsored by Hip and Hippie. You know, Hip and Hippie is a planet-loving company known for its high-quality, earth-friendly, 100% recyclable candle line and natural body care products. It's no wonder eco-supporting people love Hip and Hippie. HipandHippie.com. It's what keep us looking so good, isn't it? Old Spice. As I mentioned earlier today, my featured guest is the legendary Albert Bouchard. He is best known as one of the founding members of American rock band Blue Oyster Cult, BOC, as they're commonly referred to, formed in Stony Brook, New York in 1967, and are best known for the singles Don't Fear the Reaper, Burning for You, and Godzilla. These guys have sold 25 million records worldwide, including 7 million in the United States alone. The band's music videos, especially Burning for You, received heavy rotation on MTV when the Music Television Network premiered back in 1981.
Man, MTV.
Yeah.
Used to be worth the shit.
Oh, it was awesome, man. It was awesome.
Cool as hell, man. Ain't worth the fuck now.
No, but it was like so huge as far as education goes, you know, as far as the new bands, you know, the music. It was
we were the first one in our neighborhood to get cable TV, man. I had a house full of buddies and shit over there watching MTV.
Yeah.
Man. It was cool.
Yeah. 1981. What a year.
Man.
Yeah. Anyway.
Max Headroom.
Oh, yeah. 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 Nina Blackwood. Yeah, good stuff, man. Good stuff.
Where are they all at now?
I don't know. We need to do a series on that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe have some of them on the show.
That'd be cool.
Do an MTV thing.
Yeah.
And have a little blurb from each of the VJs. That'd be cool. Anyway, their appearance on Music Television Network that premiered back in 1981 cemented the band's contribution to the development and success of the music video in modern popular culture. Blue Oyster Cult's longest lasting and most commercially successful lineup included Donald Buck Dharma Rosner on lead guitar, Eric Bloom on lead vocals, Eric Bloom lead vocals, not on lead vocals, Alan Lanier keyboards and rhythm guitar. This is what happens when you have a freaking show in a bar.
Well, you got to drink.
Yeah, but, you know, that's what happens. Joe Bouchard, Albert's brother, on bass, and Albert Bouchard, my guest today, on drums. So I'll be right back with Albert Bouchard after this quick break. Say break.
Break.
Let's fast forward a little bit
and let's talk about Blue Oyster Cult. You co-founded the band, and
Yeah.
then you played in the band from what, 67 to about 81.
Yep. Yep.
All right.
67 to 81, and then I went back in 85 for just one tour.
Right.
And then I didn't really, that tour was kind of personally for me a disaster because I felt like I was still it was too soon. I was still felt betrayed by what happened. How when they asked me to leave the group, and I think they also felt. They still, whatever it was that, made them think that they were better off without me, they were still feeling that at that time. But they just needed a drummer. So, and there was no time to teach anybody all the songs. So that's why they had me. And I understand that, but I didn't get paid. And so I felt like, well, if you're not going to pay me, which I don't care, but if you're not going to pay me, then at least be nice to me, and,
Right.
Be civil. So it wasn't that civil, and I think I'm not going to put it all on them because I was not in a good frame of mind either,
Well, why did they ask you to leave, Albert?
I got into an argument. The straw that broke there was a lot of things that were happening. I was getting divorced. I was doing a lot of drugs. Of course, everybody was doing it too. So, but it doesn't matter. Basically, the straw that broke the camel's back was I got into a big argument with one of the guy's wives.
Okay.
And I said some things that.
Yeah.
I do regret cocaine. I was not high on cocaine at the time. I wish I could have used that excuse, but no, I was just mad. And I said some stuff that I never say to a female.
Yeah.
So it just came out. So that's what happened, and that was that, And at first it was like, you got to calm the fuck down, just get your act together, and we'll talk in 6 months. And 6 months came by, and they're like, well, we're very happy with Rick Downey, and there's no more tension in the band. I said, okay, is that a good thing? Sometimes tension is good.
Yeah.
I feel like I was one person who would obsess about every little detail. To probably a unhealthy degree. But, hey, now they got Richie Castellano.
Well, I think anybody would tell you, with you in the band, that was the most successful lineup there ever was of Blue Oyster Cult.
Yeah, well, I think that any band, any great band, is always more than the sum of its parts, and I think that it's really kind of weird how people struggle to make it, and then they make it, and then people start thinking, well, that guy, his guitar wasn't even on when we played. Why should we, or that guy, he's just a pain in the ass. We can get another drummer, no problem. We got a lighting guy who's a better drummer than him, which I wouldn't deny. I think Rick Downey was a great drummer. A good choice. But I did a whole lot more than drum, and I think they didn't really appreciate it at the time.
Was Joe in the band when
it
happened?
Yep. And, I think that's one of the reasons why he left, was because he didn't have his older brother advocating for him, which he felt like I was doing the opposite, but I was really advocating for him. And I've always done that in every band, It's weird. I have this band with Joe and Dennis Dunaway, and Dennis is always saying, you guys are ganging up on me. I'm like, we're not ganging up on you. He's my brother. What do you want me to do? Tell him to go screw himself all the time? No, I'm not. I'm going to advocate for him because, first of all, he is a great musician. And second of all, he's my brother. What more do you need?
Yeah. Now, Albert, what years was Joe in BOC?
Well, he was in college when we started. So he joined in 1971 and he left in 86. And they broke up right after that for about a year.
Yeah, they just kind of
Yep.
fell off the radar. Well, I can't help but think that two brothers, one drummer, the other playing bass, to me, that would be a big factor for the success of the band because the synergy between two brothers on stage, one on bass and one on drums. I mean, you could be a good drummer and you can be a good bass player, but when you've got two brothers in those roles, it can't hurt.
Yeah, well, and also we both sing, so our voices sound very similar, and so when we sing the same thing at the same time, it sounds like it's double tracked. So it's a good, you can do that live, and that's a kind of good thing. But I also think that our earliest influences are exactly the same, so that we come from the same place, so that when I'm playing with him, I can almost predict what he's going to do, and same with him playing with me. No matter how crazy, no matter how, well, especially me, because I will get out there and just try and put some messed up fill in there just to see if anybody's paying attention. Okay, I'm going to put 5 against 4.
Yeah.
So, cram a couple extra notes in that riff.
So tell me a little backstory on these hits you guys had. Don't Fear the Reaper, Burning for You, and Godzilla. Those 3 that were so big.
Okay, I got a story for each one.
Okay, cool.
Okay, so Reaper, I was the first person to hear that riff. We had some time off. It was in 1975, and it was in the fall. We had a few weeks off, and we were supposed to be writing songs for our new record. And so I had written a bunch, but I was working on a song, and I get the phone rings, and it's Don Roser, Bouchard, and he says, "Hey man, I just wrote this riff, and I think it's pretty cool." And he plays the riff, and it actually sounded like some of the other songs that he had made, but I was like, wow, that's really got a great groove to it, and it's really a good riff, Hey, you want to hear what I just did? And he said, sure, so I played him Imaginos, and he goes, oh, that's really good. I bet Sandy really likes it. I said, well, he hasn't heard it yet, but, I think he'll like it. And then we get to the plane like a week later, and he's got a little cassette, and he's done a demo. And now it's not just the guitar part, it's some vocals. I hear it with the vocals, and I'm like, Don, this is a hit. Just, nah. For Blue Oyster Cult? I mean, maybe for somebody else, but I mean, it's too smooth for us, It's just like the same chord all the time. I said, do you mean like a Stevie Wonder song? And he's like, yeah. I said, oh yeah, he doesn't have hits. It's like, okay, stop being sarcastic, I said, no, seriously, man, it's a hit. It's a hit. He said, you want to hold on to the cassette? Maybe play it for some people. I said, sure. So I had a girlfriend at the time. My girlfriend lived in Seattle, and we were on our way to Seattle to play a West Coast series of gigs. It's the first gig. So I said, hey, Monica, you want to hear this song that Don did? I think it's really good. And I play it for her, and she starts crying. I'm like, what's the matter? Are we breaking up? He says, all our times are gone. I said, I didn't write it. Donald wrote it. She goes, oh my God, that's so beautiful. And I said to myself, oh yeah, that's it. That's what I wanted from my whole life, was that song. I was waiting for it to come. And you know, I wish I wrote it, but you know what? It's okay. I don't care. You know, I'm glad Don wrote it. I'm glad that I know him. I'm glad that I insisted that he that he keep doing this even when he wanted to quit. You know, I would I would use every trick in the book, you know, appealing to his ego, you know, and or his sense of rebellion, you know, just because your parents want you to go back to school.
Right.
You know, you got it, man, you know, and I didn't know if he really did, but all I knew was he was my friend. I liked him a lot, and he was a great guitar player too. So we made a good team. So, and Burning for You, okay, so I got the lyric from Richard Meltzer, and he sent me a little note in it, and it said, hey Al, I think this could be, this is the first lyric I've ever written I think could be a hit. And I saw it and I said, oh, wow. You know, I mean, I tend to like Richard Meltzer's lyrics because they're always perfectly in time. You know, the rhythm of every line, they swing, you know, there's just something about the way he puts together his words. And a lot of times they're nonsense, you know, or fairly silly, but this one wasn't. It really had a heartfelt story, you know, especially if you know the backstory of him going to Los Angeles and then his girlfriend breaking up with him and him feeling lonely out there and all this other stuff. And, you know, so he was going through something and he wrote those words. So, so I took the song and I whipped up a little demo of it and I brought it into practice and I played it for the guys, and I only got about halfway through it, and I turned it off. I said, you know what, this is not. Hey Don, why don't you take this lyric and you work on it, because I think you could make it a hit. He says, okay. So next day he comes in with his little demo, and he plays it. Oh, no, he didn't even have a demo. He just played it on the acoustic guitar. He hadn't had time to make a demo. So he played it on the acoustic guitar, and I'm like, that's all you got? That doesn't sound like a hit. It sounds like something ordinary. He's like, all right, well, it's the best I can do at the moment, you know. I said, okay. So we make that record. It was Cultosaurus Erectus. And then we're making Fire of Unknown Origin. A year later, he brings in a demo of the thing, and it sounds like it's stone cold hit. I'm like, wow, now that's what I'm talking about. That's why I didn't want to go with that last one, you know. And he's like, it's the same song, Al. It's the same song. I said, yeah, but you didn't have that boom. You didn't have the you know, that whole rising thing. I said, that's what sets it apart. I said, I think it's da 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 da. I said, okay, if you think that's what sets it apart, but I think it's the intro and the whole rising chords there, you know. So anyway, we recorded that and it did very well. It did better than Reaper. I mean, at the time, you know.
Yeah, it's huge.
Yeah, I mean, it hasn't had quite the staying power that Reaper has, and frankly, Reaper is like, it's deep, man. It's
Dude, I tell you.
Yeah, it's a deep song.
I think it's all because of Will Ferrell.
Well, now that's a whole other conversation. You know, how the heck did Will Ferrell hear the cowbell in there and then decide to make that skit?
Well, you know, every time I heard the song, the cowbell. every time.
Yeah.
Every time that song came on, the cowbell was so prominent. I mean, I don't know why it is. I mean, there's other songs, you know, Honky Tonk Woman.
Oh yeah, sure.
You know, there's a lot of cowbell songs, but
Mississippi
that one,
Queen. Mississippi Queen.
Oh,
that's the beginning.
Yeah, and you know what? Speaking of that, Leslie West.
Oh yeah,
I was supposed to
one of my buddies
this spring. I was supposed to have
Yeah.
What a
Yeah,
loss.
Yeah, that was a terrible loss. He's a nice guy. I've known him for many since he was in the Vagrants. So.
Oh yeah, what a loss. Hey, you don't have a cowbell laying around there, do you?
Sure, I got tons of them.
Do you? Would you do that opening for me?
What, the bonk bonk?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on.
Seriously, that would be awesome.
I do the interviews in my bedroom. This is my bedroom here, but the living room is my studio, so I have the good stuff there. But
okay. More cow.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Latin percussion. They make this. Yeah.
Who does?
Latin percussion.
Latin percussion.
Yeah.
I got to get one of those.
And it's the best cowbell ever.
If I can get a cowbell, that freaking cowbell signed by you.
Okay.
You never have to buy your meal in Dallas ever again.
Oh, okay. Well, you send me your address and I will do it for you.
Are you serious?
Yeah, sure.
No shit.
Yeah.
Really?
Sure.
Dude, that would be huge.
You need it.
There's no doubt in my mind I need it.
I need more cowbell.
That is awesome.
You want to have cowbell on the track.
Absolutely. Okay, go ahead. I want to hear you.
Okay. All our times have come here, but now they're gone. Here, but now they're gone. I screwed it up.
That is, I couldn't ask for more. No, I guess I did. I probably crossed the line.
Okay, so you've already crossed into the never been done before in the interview area now.
Hey, did we talk about Godzilla?
Sure.
Did we? Did we already? No, we didn't.
We didn't yet.
Okay, go ahead.
So the story on Godzilla is that the original idea came from Patti Smith. So that's something that people don't know.
Oh, wow. No, I did not know that.
Yeah, she had a poem that was in Cream magazine. I don't know if you remember that. But great,
very well.
Detroit magazine.
Yes.
So she had a poem in there where the end of it was like, Zilla, God, Zilla, God, Zilla, God. So it was Zilla God. So Donald saw that poem. I think we were passing it around. You know, we were very proud of Patty. You know, her success, and because she was like a member of our family. You know, she's going out with Alan. So he called her up and said, "Let's write this song. You know, I want to make it into a proper song. You know, Godzilla. You know, not your poem, but you know, write a song about Godzilla, and we'll have Zilla God in there. You know, and that'll be part of the thing." She said, "Cool, but I'm actually on the road right now, or I'm going on the road, you know, tomorrow, and I won't be back for a month." So he said, "Okay, well, we'll write it when you get back." And while she was out on tour, he just couldn't wait. He was like, I got this idea. So he wrote it all himself, you know, all the lyrics and then, you know, but it originally was a Patti Smith idea. It would how would it have been if Patti Smith had done it, you know? Would it be better or worse or, you know, just different, you know? But yeah, I always wonder what would have happened if she actually had a hand in writing it, you know, other than the idea.
That would have been cool to find out.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, but that's the story with that one. And if you have seen, what's the one, Godzilla, King of Monsters? Is that the one? The new Godzilla movie?
You know, I watched the first one, Albert, and I haven't seen. You know, I'm gonna quit calling you Albert. You go by Al?
when Alan Lanier was alive, I didn't, because there was 2 Al's in the band. So, and he's first alphabetically, I think. A-L-B, A-L-L. No, he's got more Al's. He's got more L. Because his initials are A-L too. So he had more of a right to be Al. So he was Al and I was Albert. But, you know, when I was in college and for a lot of my life, I was called Al, so I'm cool with that. You can call me Al.
Okay.
And walks down the street.
Okay, so let's talk.
I was so soft in the middle.
Let's talk for a minute about post Blue Oyster Cult.
Okay.
I would love to talk more about Blue Oyster Cult, but I know we're pressed for time. So
Yeah.
let's talk about
We're
post.
an hour already. Yeah. So okay. So
The Brain Surgeon's Underbelly, Blue Coupe. Can you kind of give me a sum?
okay. So at some point in the 90s, I got disillusioned, and I said, I'm giving up music. I'd gotten a job as a teacher in high school. I'm like, I produced 3 records for 3 different groups where I got them a record deal. 2 of the groups, they made the record, and then in the process of making the second record, broke up, and the last group the record wasn't even out. They'd made the record, it was for Megaforce, for Megaforce Atlantic, and they broke up. The 2 girls, there was a girl lead singer and a girl keyboard player who was the leader of the band, and they got in a fight, and that was that. They hired another lead singer, and I'm like, oh man, it just doesn't sound the same, and they're like, yeah, it doesn't, and this new girl, she's not crazy like the other one. So at that point I said, screw it, even when I was producing, I was like, I could play all these parts better than these guys, I don't know, all by myself. That's what I was thinking. But I can't do it because it's their record, and and I'm not Mutt Lang, I'm not going to take over their session. So anyway, I stopped playing, and I started like making little demos at home, and my wife at the time said, gee, we should put these out ourselves. And I'm like, I don't know. And then Andy Chernoff from the Dictators, he said, yeah, I'm doing that. I'm putting out records myself. It's, screw these record companies, they're just getting in your way, they stick their fingers in your pie, and they mess up the music, and then they take all the money. So why even, forget about them. And I also had this other really good friend who's now no longer with us, named Richie Havens, and who I've known. He was the first person I met in New York City. I mean, the first famous person that I met, not the first person I met, the first famous person I met who I had their phone number.
Wow.
So
what a talent.
We used to talk a lot. Yeah, he was a great guy. And so I did a session with him right after that, because I'd played with some people that he knew. So they hired me for this session with Richie. And he said, yeah, screw these record companies, man. 10 years, Columbia, Warner Brothers, they're all going to be gone. RCA, MCA, they're all going to be gone. I'll still be here. I'm like, oh yeah, right. So I put out a record. Of course, now, Andy Chernoff, who said he was going to do it, never did it until like last year. Or maybe, no, it's about 5 years ago. But anyway, so we had that band. We put out a bunch of records, like a lot of them. None of them really sold that great, but they sold enough. I think the first one sold about 2,000, and then every one after that was about 1,000. We put out I think about 10 records. So, and they all sold okay, but not great. And we played about 300 gigs, and always did kind of okay, but not great, we'd make enough money to, cover our expenses. That was basically it,
Yeah,
and I would pay the musicians, the other guys in the band. I wouldn't take any money. So, but then that marriage broke up. And of course, I tried to keep the band going for a little while. We got another singer, but she was not, her heart wasn't into it. She was more into writing her own stuff. And so she wouldn't do it. And then I just said, it's just too, I was going through the divorce. So part of the thing was that she wanted to have the name brain surgeon, so she could play as the brain surgeon. I said, okay, fine. It's just a name, it's a stupid name. And she wanted to sell some records, so she said, oh, that was my idea. I said, it was not. It was your friend Jim's idea. But hey, who cares? Take the you can have the record company. You have all the freaking records. I got a whole. I got a warehouse full of records, you can have them all. And she's like, oh, no, I have those. So anyway, so that was the end of that. So then the first thing that happened was this guy in Canada wanted me to come up there, and he was going to put together a group to play with me and play my songs. So it was cool. I played guitar and sang, and I didn't have to play the drums. I did play the drums. I play on one song because I got a drummer who could play guitar. So we called them Bouchard's Outrageous Canadians. BOC.
Exactly.
So that was fun. I did a couple tours with them. Probably a dozen, not even, maybe 10 gigs with them in total. But and that was a fun thing to do. But then I got contacted with the original lead singer of the Soft Rod Underbelly, Les Bronstein, and he said, I've got an offer to go to France and play a tour. Do you want to put together a group for me? And I said, sure. So, I got David Hirschberg from the Brain Surgeons, and I got this guy, guitar genius, Adrian Romero, to play guitar. And so there was the four of us, and we went to France. We played with a French guy who joined the band, and that was a good thing too. And we did a few tours with that band. But then I ended up playing a gig with Dennis Dunaway at CBGB's, and Joe got up and sat in the last song. And there was a guy in the audience who was opening a club in Pennsylvania. And this was in the fall, and so the club was open in January. So he wanted us, he contacted me in December and said, hey, would you guys come and play the opening of my club? I said, you mean the Dennis Dunaway project or me? And he goes, I want you, Dennis, and Joe. That's it. I'll give you a whole bunch of money. So we said, okay. I said, okay. I said, let me ask the other guys. I told them how much it was. They were like, oh, yeah. Do you have to practice? I said, nah. We don't even have to practice. We'll just go and make it up, So we went, we played 2 sets, which is what he contracted us for. And, there was another act, and there was another band on the bill. So they played before us. We played 2 sets. And he says, you guys got to play another one. I said, well, have the other guys play the other one. He goes, I'll give you more money. I'll give you an extra couple grand. We're like, okay. Is it okay if we play the same songs over? Because we didn't have any songs. We never practiced. So we played the same. We played, a different set, but it was basically all the songs that we played before. And that was an interesting thing. And then we didn't play again until Halloween. And we got a gig playing on a float, and that was amazing because it was 1 million people saw us play.
Yeah,
and we still hadn't practiced yet. So, and then the next year, I think that was 2008. So 2009, we got a bunch of gigs opening for Alice Cooper, through Dennis, and so that was then we had to practice.
Yeah.
And get serious. And so after the second gig, we had a few more to do. they said, hey, why don't you call up Robbie Krieger? You got his number. Why don't you call him up and see if he's interested? Because I heard that Ray Manzarek is sick. And so Robbie's looking for something to do. I said, oh, Ray's sick? What's the matter? Oh, he's got cancer. It's not looking good. So they think he's going to not play anymore. I said, oh, well, that's terrible. I've been friends with the Dorgas guys for years. So I called Robbie, and Robbie says, I can't really do it. My plate is too full. I got all these gigs with Ray. I said, I thought Ray was sick and he's going to retire. And he goes, well, you're right about him being sick, but he ain't retiring. He said he's going to die on stage. He's never going to stop playing. I said, oh, well, right on, man. So even though I didn't like the idea that he was, terminally ill, I thought that's really brave and just inspiring, to have that attitude, so right. I was glad. But he said, but what I'd really like to do is make a record with you guys. We did that Imaginos record, and that was really fun. I loved what we did on that. And, in the final result, they didn't use a lot of my stuff, but still, it was still pretty good. That Blue Oyster Cult song, that's just a totally memorable, amazing lead that he played on that. So I called the other guys back and I said, well, he can't play he can't do any of these Alice gigs with us, but he wants to make a record. And they go, oh, we're making a record? I said, I guess we are. Joe goes, I got nothing. I got no songs. I just put out my first solo record. And Dennis says, I've got 1 million songs. And I said, I got at least 100. And so we did that first Blue Coupe record, and that was surprisingly well received. It sold out. It was sold within 6 months. It had sold more than any Brain Surgeons record. So it was kind of like, oh yeah, we better. This is a serious thing now. So we've played a bunch of gigs. We put out the album that we worked the hardest on, which is 11 Even. We put it out in November of 2019. So, and we had these tours in the summer. We were starting with a rock cruise in Sweden in May. And so we had all these gigs. And of course, by February, they started falling out. And March, it was like all she wrote. So during that time, I said, well, I told Sandy Perlman on his deathbed that I would redo the Imaginos record, and I would do the 3 records as we planned. They're going to be called just what he wanted them to be called. The first one was going to be Imaginos, then it was Bombs Over Germany, then it was the Mutant Reformation. And so I'm doing that. And so that's one of the things, the most pressing thing that I can say on the show is that, and I don't know when it's going to air, but on Saturday, April 10th at 4:00, I'm doing a live stream from a professional studio with a professional live stream company. And that's going to be really great. We're going to play the entire Imaginos record the way that it's meant to be, in order.
Wow.
So yeah, so that's pretty exciting. And if people want tickets, you can either go to my website, which is albertbouchard.net, and buy a ticket there. And the tickets are good for, I think, 48 hours after, if you can't make why it's at 4 p.m. Eastern time is because a lot of the big fans, I think we sold more tickets in Europe, and so for them, it'd be 9:00 at night. So it's a good time for them. And whereas on the West Coast, it'd be 1:00 in the afternoon, which is still on a Saturday. It's fine, So that's, and you can also, if if your listeners, if they have never heard any of my music, my solo records, or especially if they haven't heard this Reimagine Us record that I put out last November, they should check out Deco Entertainment. That's my record company, DEKO entertainment.com. And they have, you can buy the tickets there for the live stream, or you can buy a CD or the vinyl. You can buy a vinyl copy. The vinyl has 3 extended mixes, which have all the guitar solos I cut out. For whatever reason, after I did it, I was like, these guys, I hired these, great players to play. And then I cut them down because I thought, oh, it's just going on. And I was like, but if I'm playing live, I would want to play a longer guitar, so I'll let somebody stretch out a little bit. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to do the extended versions of those songs. And yeah, if they haven't heard, if they are Blue Oyster Cult fans and they have not heard Reimagine Us, they really should check it out, because not only does it have all the songs on the Blue Oyster Cult version, but it also has the 3 songs that were not on that version that were planned for the saga of Imagine Us.
Awesome. Wow.
So that's my little promo here. I know I've got to get this in.
You betcha. I'm so glad you did. Al, there's so much I would love to talk to you about. I would be remiss if I didn't mention Sandy, and even probably to a lesser degree, Richard Metzer. Those guys were so instrumental.
Yeah, instrumental and essential to especially in the very beginning, because I think in the very beginning only my brother Joe wrote lyrics. I wrote lyrics, but my lyrics were not ever very good. Now, well,
at least you're honest.
Well, I would not say that at the present time. My lyric writing has improved greatly, mainly because I got a master's in English in writing. So, and I had never taken an English class in college. All I cared about was math and science and music. So I didn't really care about words that much. And as a student, my scores of my tests and in my grades in school, I didn't do so well in English. So I've thought, well, I'm going to take a master's, getting master's in English. And of course, my advisor in college, this is City College of New York, and she said, this is really weird. You've never taken a graduate course in English, but you're getting an English master's. It's going to be rough. I said, I'm willing to roll up my sleeves. This is what I want. I'd already realized that, I dropped out of college, but to become a teacher in New York, you need a college degree. You can't teach without a college degree in New York City anyway, or New York State actually. So I went back to school, and I took only what I wanted to take, which was music and, anthropology and all kinds of weird stuff, women and music, women's rights, all of this, I just took like a smorgasbord of, Spanish, I live in New York City. I better know Spanish, so I took Spanish and I got A's in everything.
Because everything was related to women.
Yeah, and yes, women, and also it was what I wanted to do. Engineering is not, you end up taking all these things that, I just wanted to be a surveyor, and work on bridges. I didn't care about, what all the other stuff, the advanced calculus and stuff. That was like just annoying. And even the physics kind of bugged me too. I didn't like that, but anyway, so yeah, it was a whole different story when I went back. So when I went for my graduate degree, I knew that I was gonna do okay, even if I wasn't was totally unqualified. And I know now I understand why I struggle with lyrics, because I just really didn't apply myself. I didn't read enough, and part of the problem with my reading was that I read very slowly. It would take me, I don't know, maybe 15, 20 minutes to read a page.
Wow.
And when I was taking the graduate stuff, I could not. I wouldn't get through the stuff if I took that long. So I learned how to read very quickly, and just blast through books, just blast through them. And I can still do that. So it's kind of cool. But you can take so much more in, as far as, the manipulation of words and how they fit together. And all of a sudden it became very easy for me to write lyrics. So I help other people write lyrics now.
Al, how in the hell did you learn how to read that fast?
Well, I took a course on how you read,
Oh.
So I realized that it's a look ahead, look behind, context, and skimming. So you skim first. Okay, now read quick. Skim, read quick. So that's how you do it. You skim and read quick.
Wow.
And if
I
you
need
have
that class.
If you have to go back, you go back. But then you just rock on. You just get back on the highway.
Yeah. Wow. Very cool.
So yeah, and I never used to read books over again. Now I do it just for pleasure. So,
really?
Yeah.
I used to have to, because I didn't get it the first time. When I was in college, it was like taking classes twice.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing: is that for me, the way my mind works, I have a very divergent mind. You might say I'm ADD, except that I'm more OCD than ADD. So, but when I'm thinking about things, I was always a big daydreamer.
Mm-hmm.
So when I'm reading slow, when I'm reading slow, I have too much time for my mind to go somewhere else. And when you read fast, you can't. You're just like in it. You're right in that book. I read. Have you seen the Hamilton book by what's it? The one that they based the musical on. It's a big, 900-page book.
No,
I just blasted you that. It was fascinating. It was actually fascinating. So how this country was formed, and and all the shit that's happening, that's happened in the past 4 years with Trump and all the challenges and all this other stuff. And you see how everything was predicted. Hamilton saw everything. He said slavery is going to tear this country apart, because it's all about racism, and that is going to be the end of this country. And I still believe it.
What's the name of that book?
It's called Hamilton.
Just Hamilton.
Yeah, and it's Ron Charnow. Ron Charnow. Yep.
I'll look for it.
Yeah. It's a great book, really.
Yeah,
it's easy
good.
to get into, because there's lots of juicy stuff, it's sex scandals and
oh wow,
all this other stuff, and of course the whole thing with Aaron Burr and how they're like kind of like rivals, and then they're good friends, and then they're enemies. So
right,
and then he kills them.
Al, I could go on forever, but you've been a blast, Al. I wish you and your family the very best of health, happiness, and success that this life has to offer.
Thank you. And I wish the same for you, man.
Man, you've been awesome. I've had such a great time, and look forward to getting you back again someday.
Okay. Well, Reimaginos 2 will be out next fall. So
there we go.
Yeah.
Give us another opportunity.
Yeah.
Dude, we got to both stay alive.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no. I'm do everything in my power.
Okay, me too. That's a deal.
Okay.
Guys, everything about Albert Bouchard can be found on his website, albertbouchard.net. And as always, I will include links to his music in the description below this video. So all you have to do is click. Thanks for hanging out with Albert and I today. And please like and share this video and click subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's free. And then click that tiny bell to receive notifications when I post something new. That will wrap this episode of Barside Jive. Until next time, peace, love, and rock and roll.
Thank you, DC.
Barside Jive shall not be responsible for any incorrect or inaccurate information caused by this broadcast. Barside Jive does assume, however, all responsibility for the satirical nature of its content and for the occasional fictional nature of its content. All characters appearing in this broadcast, even those based on real people, except for our featured guests, of course, are entirely fictional, and any resemblance between them and any persons living dead or undead is purely a miracle.